Manifestation is real. Start speaking positivity in your life. Change the way you think. Do the work. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Riri J. My name is Maria. I'm the owner of A to Z Signing Agency here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today we're in a little bit of a different background. I'm actually in my bathroom. I have a little brunch meeting today, so I'm getting ready for that. I know the last time I talked with you guys, I was showing you my Q1 earnings, and I was super excited about like how much money I had made and the consistency that I was getting. And then after that, a lot of things kind of changed. So I want to kind of talk to you about that while I get ready. All right, so have you guys ever prayed to the universe, prayed to God, manifested, and all that stuff? Something that you really wanted to do. You prayed and you prayed and you prayed, and then boom, it happens. God bless you, the universe bless you. You get the thing that you've been praying for. Well, the moment that you get the thing that you're praying for, one little thing can happen and you literally start to second guess your abilities, or start to like doubt whether it's really for you or not. You start to really just start to doubt yourself, right? So that's what happened to me. Right after I showed you guys my first quarter earnings, the world started to open back up, and my business for some reason started to experience a slowness. So I just didn't understand why I was having this slowness. I thought maybe I had done something wrong or incorrect, and they just had it out for me. I don't know, but I wasn't getting the signings notifications or anything like I was getting them at first. But the world was opening up, so it should have been expected. I started to get these thoughts in my head kind of saying, you might as well just stop now. The good part is done. You know, you've made your money, move on, don't continue. I started to have those kind of doubtful thoughts in my mind, and I think it came from the world opening back up and then my slowdown. So it shook me. I read this book. It's called The 4 Agreements. I'm gonna put it up here. The 4 Agreements. And I listened to it on an audiobook on YouTube. I suggest you go and listen to that book. So the 4 Agreements lists 4 agreements that you should work on living by throughout your life. But it also talks about agreements that you should never accept, and how at a young age, we as people accept agreements that other people tell us. And when you accept that agreement, guess what? That's kind of what you are. So while my mind was going crazy and I had all these negative thoughts about leaving the business, I also knew, thank goodness, not to accept those agreements, not to accept those thoughts that my mind was trying to convince me of. So what I did was I didn't give up on my business, but I did step back. I stepped back a lot. I stepped back so much that I stepped into a job. Yes, guys, I stepped into a whole job, making a salary and everything. I quickly realized that being an employee is just not for me, because they almost kind of want you to be put in a box. So you're almost kind of literally put in a box, because if they don't like how you're doing something, don't agree with something, like that can be pretty messy. I got this job and I was working a job. I was super excited because I was like, this is going to be a good way to continue to earn income, have income coming in, but it's also going to help me step back from where I was going with my business and kind of reevaluate things, right? I'm realizing things that I would never do as a business owner that was being done with the job. So the first thing I noticed was they didn't really offer a formal or initial training. Like sit down, go over the company's expectations, go over what their expectations are of you, how they want things to be done. It was kind of very informal. It was kind of, hey, do this and then that's it. It was never like a formal, you know, a formal type training. I'm like, okay, great, no problem. But it didn't dawn on me how bad it was until I was given a task to do. And the task that I was given to be done, they didn't really give me clear and concise, like, details of what they were expecting. So I took it upon myself to, you know, go in and do the task based on my knowledge, and so forth. And when I presented that to them, they didn't like it. Aww. And now they didn't like it. They also kind of downed me because they said that I should have reached out to other resources. But how do you know what you don't know? How do you know that you do not know something? You don't. My superior came to me and we had a 1-hour meeting, and the 1-hour meeting literally consists of her, you know how when someone's scolding you, but it's not loud, it's not a lot of cursing, it's not very aggressive, but it's a subtle scald. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I didn't do anything wrong in this. All I try to do is help. And I'm getting lectured by this woman for a whole hour about how disappointed they are in me. I was set up to fail. And I even told her, I said, you know what, I have a business and I hired one person to work for me, and I would never get someone new in to my company and have them do something without clearly giving and providing them information on how to go about it. So we're talking, and as I'm trying to explain myself and my side of the story of, you know, just how I didn't have all the information I needed, the phone hangs up, like the meeting just ends. And at that very point, I realized, you know what? At the very point, I would realize jobs are not for me. And the next day, I was writing my resignation paper. That was an L, and not L as in loss, but L as in lesson. The lesson I learned from that is, first of all, I have a greater appreciation to be a business owner, and I have a greater appreciation towards my business. What I also learned is that with every business, you're gonna have like pitfalls, you're gonna have bumps in the road, you're gonna have slow times, things are gonna happen. You might hit a wall, a brick wall in the middle of your business. But it's so important to have that faith and the work ethic to work and have faith through that situation. Work and have faith through that situation. Do the work in your slow times and they will repay you. But when you do the work for a 9 to 5, if they don't like it, they will fire you, or they will talk about you, or they will limit your ability to grow because they feel like you're not capable enough. With a job, it's so hard because you're depending on a whole nother human being. You're depending on a whole nother human being to kind of elevate you in a sense, or validate you. So with that being said, I am back full time with my signing business, and yeah, not giving up this time. I encourage you guys, don't give up. Do not give up, because it's not worth it. Have you ever seen that meme where there were 2 guys that were mining for gold, and then one guy gave up just before the last dig that he would discover gold, and the other guy kept going? That's how it is with businesses. Sometimes you're gonna literally have situations where you're like, oh my gosh, this is becoming so stressful, but don't give up, okay? Do not give up, guys. It's okay if you need to pull to the side and just take a breather from your business. That's okay, but don't give up. If it's something that you really believe in and you know can potentially make you profit and really grow into something beautiful and amazing, and you just know it, don't give up when you have those slow moments. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start our Q&A. And yeah, I have some interesting questions out there, so I want to make sure I can answer them to the best of my ability and to help you guys out, so stay tuned. Okay, now for the Q&A. But before I start, I just want to thank everyone for your support, for your encouraging words, your well wishes, your congratulations. So I found some new friends and my new YouTube buddies, and I hope that we can only continue to grow and learn along the way. So the first question is, how far apart do you spread your signings as far as time? So that is a really, really good question. So For me, luckily, when I was really into it and I was having signings, multiple signings every day, I would get appointment requests 2 days or a day in advance. So that gave me a chance to look at what I already had on the schedule and then look at the location of where it's at, and then I would look at all those factors. I will always give myself 1 hour for a signing. I don't care if I went into a signing and it took 30 minutes. That means I have an extra 30 minutes to go and rest or whatever. But I will always give myself 1 hour time block when it comes to scheduling my loan signings. And you know, with signing agencies, you're not really able to negotiate what time you can be there. I mean, you can always say, well, can I do it another hour? But ultimately, the signer is the person who holds the key to what time they need you to be there. So what I would do is I would get these signings a day in advance. And if I saw that they were going to be conflicting, or maybe one was a little too far out, I would reply back and say, hey, I can take this signing, but it's going to take me a little bit more time to get there. So what I would do is request maybe an additional 15 minutes or additional 30 minutes for arrival time based on how far away. Also, when it comes to accepting signings, I never really accept signings that are an hour or more away. That's just, to me, a little bit too far. The only way I would do an hour-long commute to a signing is if that signing is over $200 for me to be there. But other than that, for anything below that, it's very hard for me to get out there. Next question is, can you do a video doing a mock signing and how to go through a closing with a borrower, please? Yes, yes, and yes. For mock signings, it's a little tricky because I want to kind of present it in a way as if I'm in front of an actual signer, and I want to kind of have it where the documents are right there on the screen and you know exactly where to point to have the signer sign, and then you'll know exactly how to notarize. So I'm trying to put that together now as we speak. And also I want to make sure I protect the privacy of my previous signer. So I got to find some templates or some documents to use that will help keep those signers' information private. So the next question that I have is, when you work directly with attorneys' offices, do they pay on the spot, or are they net 30, net 60, etc.? So for the attorney offices that I work for, I've had some attorneys that, some offices that actually paid me on the spot, because after that closing is done, normally the real estate agent and whoever was involved in that transaction, they get their checks cut right then and there. For me, I would get my check as well. But then we have some offices that will send it out within 2 weeks of you doing your signing. But for the most part, I haven't really experienced any attorney's offices that pay net 60 and so forth. Next question I have is, how do you handle people with dogs? Do you ask them to come outside or put them away? I'm scared, LOL. Yes, okay. So, people love their dogs, okay? And so when it comes to dogs, I can just say this personally, for me, I am not scared of dogs. If they're cute and fluffy, I'm not scared of them. But the big Rottweilers and the more scarier looking dogs, I'm not scared, but I'm more cautious because you just never know. So whenever I notice a dog is involved or in the house, I would just say, is it okay if you put the dog away while we conduct the signing? And 9 times out of 10, the dog owners are more concerned about how I feel than I realize. I mean, they're asking me, hey, are you okay with the dog being here? Or if not, I can put him in another room. And I normally say, yeah, you can put him in another room so we can focus on our signing. And they are perfectly fine with it. So it's a way to do it. You don't have to be rude or anything like that, or start screaming or be scared. Just politely ask professionally, can they please put their dog up during the signing? If it ever gets to a problem where they're like resisting and you feel threatened by the dog, you would just simply contact the signing company or the loan officer who was involved in that signing and let them know what's going on. If you really don't feel comfortable, or you feel like it's a threat to your health and your safety, you definitely want to reach out to someone and let them know that the signer is refusing to put their dog up. All right, so my next question is, hello, congratulations on your success. Thank you. Since NC is an attorney state, how do you notarize closing documents without an attorney with you? Thanks, Steve. Well, hi, Steve. Hi. So who told you that North Carolina was an attorney state? So I am not big on quoting things or, you know, putting incorrect information out there. If I am unsure about something, I definitely go to a valid and viable resource. And for this topic, it can be very damaging if people think that North Carolina is an attorney state, because it's not an attorney state. I will have the National Notary Association link down below for you to click on and read for yourself, and it shows in black and white that North Carolina is not an attorney state. I have done hundreds of signings and I've never had to go in and actually have an attorney with me of any sort. Generally, there are 4 kinds of state restrictions that may apply to signing agents and their ability to handle loan signings. Attorney-only states, fee restriction states, states that require an additional license, and loan package type limits. The following states have restrictions that notary signing agents could adhere to. Now, I'm going to just scroll down to the North Carolina one because that's the state that pertains to me. North Carolina limits the fees notaries may charge. No other ancillary fees may be charged, meaning there's no other additional fees that the notary should charge. Now, if we scroll down here to the question, what are notary attorney states? The terms notary attorney state or real estate attorney state are commonly used when referring to which states require a lawyer at closing for real property transactions. These deals involve legalese that may be difficult for borrowers to understand, and if a title agent, escrow officer, or notary signing agent provides explanations, it can be considered the unauthorized practice of law. In attorney closing states, lawyers serve as a third party to ensure the legal requirements of the purchase are met, and that the interests of both the buyer and seller are protected. While an attorney must be present, a notary signing agent still handles the notarization part of the process. Here's a list of attorney states for real estate closings: Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Massachusetts, New York, South Carolina, South Dakota, Vermont, and West Virginia. As you see, guys, North Carolina is not an attorney state. If anyone comes to you and is telling you information that you may have a question about or don't feel is accurate, please, I beg you, go to a valid and viable source. And again, North Carolina is not an attorney state. My next question is something similar to what Steve asked. I completely enjoyed this video. I love how you demonstrated that money can be made in an attorney state. It's not easy, but can be done. By the way, I'm going to check out JT Hustle's channel. So again, I got all this work done because North Carolina is not an attorney state, guys. If it was, I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot more difficult to kind of get these transactions pulled together because you have another person that has to be involved. But I never had to have an attorney present within my loan signing. So the next question is, do I need both the NSA and the LSS? I want to know the correct info. So no, you don't need both. And as a matter of fact, you don't even need loan signing system training. However, it's highly recognized in the loan signing field. When these lenders are looking for a loan signing agent to assist with a closing, they're looking for those accreditations. When you become a notary, all you have to really do when you want to become a loan signing agent is simply purchase the NSA background screening only option. That's only $70, and what that includes is your background, a notary signing agent exam, and that exam is just to test how much you know about being a loan signing agent. And then it also includes a 1-year signingagent.com priority listing. That is literally all you need to become a notary loan signing agent. However, if you really want to get in there and not make mistakes and go in very confident and knowing what to do in these loan signings, having that extra training helps. But to answer your question, you do not have to have loan signing system training. You can literally do the bare minimum, which is the the NNA background and exam only, which is only $70. And when these lenders look you up, they can see what your credentials are, and they can see how much training you have. So there you go. The next question is, do I blank? Hold on. The next question is, so every time I have to stamp, I do an acknowledgement, or do you mean with each appointment itself? Okay, so when it comes to acknowledgements and loan signings, because notaries, basic notaries are different. Like if you're just a regular notary, then it may be a little different for you. But for a loan signing agent, when you're dealing with an acknowledgement, when you do a signing, the documents that you get are already pre-printed with whatever state that it's originating from. Look, I'm in North Carolina, right? I've done loans that originated in Georgia, in South Carolina, California, just different places, right? So whenever that happens, when it comes to the point where I have to notarize that document, they're gonna have their state's verbiage for me to notarize. But you do not notarize it. If you're not in South Carolina, if you're in North Carolina and the loan is originated in South Carolina, you don't want to go in and sign your information on a document and stamp that verbiage. You want to have your own state's verbiage, and this is where the acknowledgement form comes in. The acknowledgement form is just to kind of replace their verbiage with your state's verbiage. So I'm doing the loans, I'm having my signer sign the loan, and then we come to the point where I have to actually go in and do my notarizations. If they're from a different state, I pull out my acknowledgement piece of paper, I print in small lettering right under my signature where I would normally sign, see attachment, and then I go in and I notarize and fill out my acknowledgement form for my state, and I just slip it behind that paper that needed to be acknowledged. Whenever you go in and you just disregard that, I'm not sure for every state, but when you disregard that and you just put your information there and you're not a notary in that state, then the lender can kick it back and make you do it over again, or get someone else to do it and you'll never get business from them again, more than likely. So it's not per appointment, it's actually per notarial act. So every time you gotta notarize a document, you slip in that acknowledgement form. And that's how I do my signings, and I haven't had any problems with it yet. Question is, wouldn't NNA course be better since they were in business way before Mark was? And I'm sure he went through NNA before he got his business. I did not take the NNA loan signing course, but I heard it's a really good course. It's completely up to you. If you want to take the NNA course only, definitely do that. If you want to take Mark's course, take that. Mark just is really good. It reminds me of the real estate field. So when I became a realtor, I had to go through class, right? But class did not teach me how to be a realtor. It didn't teach me how to talk to people, the certain things to look out for, how to really get prepared and be an actual realtor. It just taught me the legalities and the things not to do to get in trouble. So I had to go out and find mentors and find training that was going to help me be a better realtor to people. So that's kind of what it reminds me of in this instance. Yes, you go through being a notary, they really teach you the things you can and can't do so you do not get in trouble. But they don't teach you really how to be a notary, how to get out there and find business, how to get out there and talk to people and network and scale your business. Mark's course help you with all that. It's a 6-figure agent course. So his course is geared to help you grow and see beyond where you are currently. I'm not sure how the NNA course is. Again, I did not take it. However, it's totally up to you. Hi, I have 2 questions. How long does it take to absorb and fully comprehend the course? How long did it take you? Lastly, how long did it take for you to get your first signing and actually getting a flow of business? So yeah, with the course, I started October-ish. I got my notary license and everything set up around the beginning of October. I purchased Mark's course and I gave myself 2 weeks, but I was not working at all during that time, so I had a lot of free time. So I literally, from sun up to sundown, was listening to his course. With me listening to his course for at least 3 hours a day, it took me about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. But I feel like you should give yourself at least 2 good weeks to really listen to what he's saying, because his course is video based. So listen to what he's saying. If you have to go back over something again for him to you know, listen to it again, really marinate in it. 2 weeks is what I would give myself and what I would recommend for his course. Once I was done with his course, the first thing I started doing, once I had, you know, my certificate, I had my background check completed, I had my E&O insurance, I started applying for signing agencies to start getting signings in. So it took some time. It took about a good month for me to start getting signings, and when I started getting signings, it was like 1 or 2 here and there. It was nothing like what happened in December, January, and February, and I think March. It got crazy during that time, but before then it was 1 or 2. So it took me about a month after I finished the course to really see the fruits of my labor through the signing agencies. All right, next question is, thank you so much for sharing. Just love your energy. Would you be so kind to leave a link to the notary journal you purchased from Amazon? Yes, I sure will leave that link for you, okay? Do you think it's worth it to get the insurance that is provided on the NNA's website? I think it's worth it. I haven't had any problems with it since I've had it. I've had it for almost a year now, and it's the Merchants Bonding Company. That is the company that you will get if you went through the NNA's site to get insurance. I paid $74 for the premium, and I have a total of $50,000. The minimum is, I think, $10,000, but the more insurance you have, the higher that number is. It does make you a lot more attractive to agencies and attorneys who are looking for loan signing agents to work with. So there's some other insurance that you can purchase out there. I definitely encourage you to do your due diligence and look into what's the best option for you. I know I just recently heard of one that's called a loan signing agent insurance. It helps with things like unauthorized changes to documents, negligence of the signing agent to complete the documents in a timely manner. I mean, it's the slow return of sensitive documents. So it also, you can add that insurance, I think, in conjunction with the regular insurance. However, if you train yourself fully and you take your time through these signings, you won't have that worry of, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, you won't have those problems. Are the fees different for Ron? So remote online notary, and that's what I was talking about in my previous video. I think I said e-notary. E-notary is simply, you're still there in front of the customer, but they will sign the documents electronically, meaning it'll be on a computer or a tablet. But as far as the RON, which is remote online notary, that hasn't been initiated in North Carolina. I do know that during the pandemic, they were temporarily, you know, allowing certain signing agents to do RON work, but now they don't do that. As you can see here, I'm gonna put this on the screen. Here is the map of, you know, the states that are doing RON, remote online notary, and the states that are temporarily, the states that are currently doing that, and the states that have no laws or guidance about the remote online notary. This is definitely a wave of the future. but it's just going to take the different states some time to really figure out the behind the scenes of it and really see if it's going to be a great benefit, and just kind of work everything out that way. But as far as Ron, the prices are a little bit lower actually. I mean, you're looking at between $75 to $125, $150, but you also got to take in consideration you're not commuting to that person's home, you're not printing any type of paper or documents, so everything's done from the comfort of your own home. All you need is software that you will need to do that. So definitely look more into that. Also, I did a little bit of research. I will link that down below as well. All right guys, I got a little too carried away with my Q&A, but thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.